With direction regarding revising cannabis regulations.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. You currently have a cannabis ordinance which allows commercial cultivation, medical delivery, manufacturing, and testing. You don't have a retail, and in fact, your ordinance specifically bans retail commercial cannabis activity. There's been some interest in retail businesses coming to town, so just wanted to get your direction on whether you'd like to entertain adding retail cannabis to your ordinance in the future.
Thank you, Tom. Council, questions, comments?
We did meet a couple weeks back with the city manager, and we had a couple people of interest that would like to see this come back to the table. It's been since 2017, 2016, since Livingston has wanted to bring cannabis into Livingston, and we have not had any movement forward. And I know that the interest now is in dispensaries. In the retail sales of cannabis within Livingston. So I would like to see that we move in that direction. I'd like to see that we form some type of a steering committee that would involve staff, well, not necessarily staff, but at least 2 council members, planning, and the rec department, because all of Livingston would benefit from seeing some of the revenues that would come from the sales of cannabis on the commercial end.
Any other comments?
Yes, I have to agree with Maria on this one. I do want to see what our neighboring towns, what they're doing, what kind of taxes they're getting. So yeah, I want to look into this more and see if we could have a workshop to see what our options are out there. Where can we do it? Where can we do it? Yes, I want to see what we could do.
You said a workshop? Yes. Any other comments by council? Jose?
With this, well, I guess, so the question would be like, because in the past we had different interests have come before this council or in the and also previous councils, and primarily has been about retail, but also along with retail, also requests to change the ordinances for downtown, and I think those are 2 separate, 2 different things. One, retail, and the other one would be the consideration to, like has been in the past, to amend or change or add and change the zoning for cannabis, whether it's production, cultivation. So it just depends what the specific request might be. Is it to just discuss retail, or retail and zoning changes?
I think it'll be up to the council, right?
Yeah, that's up to you all. If you're going to do a workshop, we could easily include both subjects.
Okay.
And for me, so obviously it's already allowed in industrial areas. I hear, like when I talk to people, I hear both sides. Some people are for it, some people are against it. I think the location is, I know previous people that purchased the location's an issue with some people. I mean, there could be some benefits. I know I've done the research, and there's some jurisdictions that have done really well. But I think it'll be good. I agree, instead of the steering, I would agree like a workshop, educational workshop to invite the public and kind of hear from what people are thinking out there. What are they okay with? What, ultimately I represent the community. So I would like to get a feel what people are saying or what they want or how they feel about the whole subject, Like I said, I've done some research. I mean, there could be great benefits financially for the city. They could be pushed towards recreation. But at the same time, I have a child myself, and I know, once you expose them or they see it on a regular basis, that could also be, a gateway, I guess, to other issues. But I see it both ways. I don't think it'll be any harm to have a workshop, educational workshop on see where the community's thinking, kind of what I know we've been approached by several people wanting to move forward on retail. So I think it's only fair that we would, at least give them the opportunity to kind of express what they're thinking or what their plans would be and how that would look like. I know, like Councilmember Soto stated, there's been, I think it was visited sometime in 2017. It's been a while. I'm okay with having some conversation and having a workshop invite the community and those interested in opening business in Livingston. Not only planning and rec, but also like our law enforcement. It's going to definitely affect law enforcement and how we do things here in town, and do we have the capacity to patrol and fire too. I know last time we thought about that, we had discussion with fire, and that could also affect the whole situation. Like I said, I see pros and cons, but I want to hear from my people, from my community, see what are you thinking. So I think a workshop would be beneficial for everybody, just to sit down and see where we're at. So I'll open it up for any public comment. Back to council. Any other comments at this time?
I can appreciate all the people that have come forward addressing the issue of cannabis, its location, its uses, who it'll benefit, keeping an open mind as to what this natural plant can do for those that need it. It's not just about veterans. However, we do have some speakers in the audience that are advocating on behalf of veterans and wanting to contribute back to our community if we move forward with cannabis activity here in retail sales, giving a portion to veterans, which is a very honorable thing to do, and having it veteran-owned. Again, I'm an advocate for veterans, but that does not mean that I'm pitting our community against each other for them to have this business and this business or that business. Cannabis is available to those that need it. Over the age of 21, it's legal. As for the location part, again, this has come before council before, and we've heard different people speak on it. Having it near the freeway, it's easy accessible to our freeway traffic. And then when we talk about wanting to bring more foot traffic to the downtown, we want economic development, we want this, we want that, we need money, we need funds, we need portions of it so that we can support our services, our fire departments, our police departments. Cannabis, commercial cannabis, they have regulations. Not anybody is going to be going into these stores that is not allowed. So when we look at it, keep an open mind that it is going to be safe, whether it is on the outskirts of our town in the industrial, because I heard a gentleman on the phone speak on that, how it happens in Atwater. If you don't know, that it is out there in the industrial zone. Industrial zone, it looks pretty scary, and it's out there off the beaten path of everything. And when we think retail sales, we're thinking retail sales. You can go into that store, and right next to it could be a coffee shop. Who knows? Flower shop, retail, where people are going in to buy. So when we think about the future of Livingston and how it might grow, we have big things coming here. We're gonna have an ACE train coming, and it's gonna land right over, I'm pointing in this direction. And that is right before you come into our downtown district. And we want people to stop and stay in Livingston just for a bit. And if that allows them, we want them to shop our downtown. We want retail in our downtown. We want them to be able to walk to it, spend some time there, and capture all of these people that are going to be coming into Livingston when the ACE train comes. So I'm looking at that, and I'm also thinking that we also have the quick access out on our industrial. But again, industrial sounds industrial, warehouse. So we are, and what was already said, that people in Livingston are already getting their cannabis. They're having to go out of town for it. Their deliveries are wherever they're coming from, Modesto, they're keeping our money. We're going to Merced, to the dispensaries in Merced, they're keeping our money. Livingston needs to have a plan in place, and I said it before that I would like to get some type of a steering committee put together so that we can come together and move forward with some types of the policy that needs to be in place in order to have dispensaries available to Livingston residents and those that are coming to visit Livingston either through the highway or within our downtown district where the ACE train is going to land. So workshops, again, I'm for that. We've heard what the public wants and does not want. We hear what our developers want. There's a need, and we need to address that need. And it's been a long time coming where we have let that go. I don't know, since 2016, 2017, I watched the video that was posted. And again, thank you, Mayor, for putting personal biases aside and wanting to consider and being a part of the discussion and open mind to our public. Because, yeah, I'm an educator. I'm in youth programs, but I'm also advocating for the health benefits that cannabis does bring to all walks of life. So thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Any other comments?
No, like I said earlier, let's get together and sit down and figure this out. Let's have a workshop. Invite the whole town. Everybody that wants to come. We'll talk about location, talk about the process. To me, personally, the location don't matter. I walk through 15 liquor stores. I don't run in there buy cigarettes. If somebody's going to do it, they're going to do it. So I don't think so. But again, once the time comes, we could sit down and talk about it.
Thank you. In regards to myself, I appreciate everybody's comments and their point of view. Absolutely, I do try to keep an open mind, and I do would like to see a workshop and have a discussion, and absolutely invite the whole town. I would like to see the planning commission there and the council, even the rec commission if possible. But I think it should be a all-inclusive discussion, and then go from there. Go ahead.
Yes, so, and then talking about being all-inclusive, I think that instead of having or going under a workshop, we could have a special meeting. That way the entire council, that way anybody else could be here instead of restricting it to only the participation of 2 council members or the participation of 2 planning commissioners or the participation of only 2 rec commissioners. Making it a special meeting, then it would be open to, with special considerations to more than 2 planning commissioners, to more than 2 recreation, and more than 2 council members. And I think it would be a much better discussion, having the opportunity for everyone to be able to share and listen and hear to everyone that will be attending. So I request a special meeting to be able to expand that opportunity.
Well, workshop falls under a special meeting, correct, Tom? So it's actually a special meeting workshop. So
I believe we can have both. So when we have a steering committee, cannabis is ever changing. Legislation is changing as we speak. So if there were people that had the knowledge that can bring that to the table to speak specifically and meet on different time, other than having to call a special meeting every single time, having that group of people come together, put the ideas together, bring it to the workshop. Again, having those smaller discussions so that they can disseminate that type of information to the workshop. Again, there would be guidance from council, planning, rec, and citizens. So a smaller steering committee to put all the ideas together, bounce it off each other, then do a formalized workshop where it could be open and all, so we're not there all night going head to head on different issues where not everyone is seeing the same thing or hearing the same thing or not up to speed on cannabis issues.
Okay, I think three of us are in agreement with a workshop, which falls under a special meeting. And then maybe that could be something that comes out of the workshop, a recommendation for a steering committee. So I think three of us are okay with the workshop.
I'm fine with the workshop as well, Mayor.
Okay, so four of us we're all in agreement then? Yeah, okay, all four of us are okay with the workshop? Okay, I thought you meant that you wanted a steering committee.
I'm suggesting that so that if, it could work either way. During the workshop, come up with that, maybe we can have a steering committee that comes out of that. It's just a suggestion.
Okay.
But again, being up to speed and current so that we're not spinning our wheels and racking our brains on, can we do that? Can we do this? Can
Well,
we do that?
that's why we're all gonna be there. I think Tom will be the one possibly preparing that workshop, correct?
It might be another partner in the office who specializes in that, but for workshop purposes, we'll
Yeah.
see. But
Okay,
we'll work with Vanessa for the format and the timing and
perfect.
take from there if that's your direction.
So we're all in agreement then, workshop? Yes, Vanessa, is that good direction? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to